Anyway, long story short, we now have the final iteration of the trim and tilt. This one's a little bit different than anything else I built. I'll try to explain this to you quickly before the noise gets too loud. But the brackets, of course, got some extra holes in it, but now this free floats in the bracket. It is drilled out at the bracket towards the rear. It does have what looks like a kickstand on the back of it. That prevents the engine from fully tilting over, because it will do that if you push it all the way back. Even though it's only a 2-inch actuator, it pulls this engine quick. Now, I do run it unlocked, as you see there. Everything else on the engine pretty much remains the same, but what's nice about it, there are stainless steel brackets underneath, and this pivots back and forth, meaning that part pivots back and forth to give it enough freedom so you're not binding anything and you don't snap a bracket. You know, got to keep it simple. And this comes off in just a few minutes. Up in the front, I'll show you guys the box here. So the box has electronics in it, well, the electronic, and it runs off a DeWalt battery right there. So again, just a simple 12 to 20 volts, sorry, 20 volt to 12 volt drop. On and off switch, 3-way switch for up and down. You guys will see here, and it pulls it quick. All right, and of course you see the tiller run the water because I don't have it connected yet. And that's fully out of the water for the most part as far as the prop, and it'll keep going, but you'll notice the kickstand right there stops it from going fully back, and then down it goes. Very, very cool concept. The only thing on here really that was difficult to figure out was how far to articulate this back and would the mount support it. So we're going to try this today and see how this thing runs. You know, my big concern with these new mounts, with this mount specifically, is how is it going to hold up with that being drilled. But it seems like every time I take it out, it gets better. And there we go. I tell you, man, it is awfully hot today. It's 5 o'clock and it's like 100 degrees out here. So today we're kind of running and just goofing off with the trim and tilt back here, just to trial it while it's got power behind it. This has been flawless so far. But I'm going to get some speed on this and see if the trimming of the engine just helps with speed. I know we're not supposed to trim with this unit, but I'm like, why not? So we're going to start off just kind of goofing off with it and just see how it performs. But this is the final version. After this, I'm done. This mold will get cleaned up and just printed, and we'll see how it goes. And we'll get some speed on the good old Kayak. And I do have my fishing camera on today for the first time, so I want to see what that does. So we are going to start this at 0, just so I don't get any haters on me. Always do. All right, counters at 0. We're still moving forward from the past throttle. So let's see what we got. We're at 1, and we're getting, there we go, 0. Let's do it. So right now we're probably 4 out of 6 clicks. We're running about 5.5. 5.7. Oh man, this thing turns on a dime. I love it. Sorry about the glare, but the water's gorgeous going this way. These motors control with a finger. So let me show you guys since we're in the water. Get the tilt going up here. That's how fast it's already out. That's how fast he yanks out. Down it goes. Done. So the articulation is a lot faster on this particular model, or at least this design. I got 8 right there, if you guys can see it. Again, going up, it's out, fully out. You can hear the engine change. Down it goes. And you can see here, the arm articulates. You gotta be careful not to go too fast. You see how the kickstand down there? I don't know if you guys can see that. The kickstand stops it from flipping all the way around. Not that it does flip all the way around, but it'll scare you, man, if you're not paying attention. So I threw a little bent stainless steel bolt on it, and it works. Let's go. I'm sorry, but that's actually quite nice. Wide open. We're at 6. Wow. All right, I'm gonna bring this motor up, see what happens. See what happens. It's slightly trimmed now. So it's slightly trimmed, which I told myself I was not going to do. I'm already at 5, and the motor is barely pushing. We're at 6. What? And I still got a lot more. 7.1, I was like, what? See, I would say we're probably... I would say we're in the 6s right now. Very different feeling. Wow, that was interesting. Let me go up a little more. Okay, I don't know what this is gonna do. Hopefully I survive. So if you notice, let me show you guys real quick. Let me turn around. I don't know if you guys saw that. Well, look where the kickstand's at. Watch what it does. Because there is a gap in there. I don't know if you guys can notice it. Watch. Motor leans back a little bit. Has a little gap on the kickstand because we're moving forward. I don't know if you guys can see that. See, now it bounces back up. Now mind you, the actuator's closed a little bit. So the engine has a slight trim. Now I told myself I really didn't want to do this, but I want to see how it performs. With a slight trim. Bog City. Yep. Let's go down. You know, like. All right, we're all the way down. That was too high. I can tell you right now, it was too high. There we go. I got my groove back. All right, so let's do this. Let's reset again. Shot it to the bridge. All right, so that's the sweet spot there, 5 of 6. We're at 6 miles an hour. So, in all honesty, a little bit of trim actually worked amazing. So, I'm gonna do a brand new clip here, hang tight. All right, so we probably have a 7-degree trim. I moved it up a little bit because it seemed like it got more speed. earlier, so I could be lying to myself here, but I got 6.0 with it all the way down. Now, mind you, I can trim that motor manually and still use the trim, I'm sorry, the tilt. See, I already want to call it a trim system. Yep, 5.9. So we're literally, I don't know. I have to run it some more to really get used to it. All right, that's probably like 4 degrees there. I just barely touched it. Let's see what happens. We're at 0. It just sounds better. Sounds nice. Like it grabs the water differently. So we're right now like 5.3, 5.4. That'll roll us up to like 5.9. I kind of like that. I think it needs to go stay down where it's at. It just feels right. So I'm right from the beginning. All right, so we're gonna go fish under the bridge and we're gonna throw a camera in and see what's down here. Maybe we can slay a sheep's head, who knows? Wow, Hondas, man, can't beat them. Let's give it a shot. So I was telling pretty much everyone how you can start these engines with literally 2 fingers. People don't believe me. That's it. And that's my non-strong arm. Yeah, man. Get it. So this particular model is running the carbon fiber handle. It's a little bit lighter, of course. It is got the better drive 2-to-1-to-1 ratio on the gearbox, meaning the lower foot. So I was able to definitely get a little more speed out of it. We're talking, you know, maybe in the eyes of most people not much, but it was 6.1. I'm assuming that's where it's at. So I'm gonna reset it again, cruise to the other side, and trying to look at those docks and see if I see anything, but it is so friggin' hot. All the fish are in the shade. I don't blame them. So that is 0 clicks. This is 1 click. Give you guys a little bit better perspective here. So that is 1 click. That is 3.5. I mean, that motor's barely running. How do you beat that? 3.8, 1 click. So I'm gonna slowly, just gradually get it up. 4.3, that's real nice there. That is the sweet spot. 5.5. All right, guys, well, it performed as I thought. So I don't know if you guys can see it, but this is kind of the gist of it. I'll get more film on it once it's out of the water and cleaned up, but you'll see here it has a little bit of movement, only because of the kickstand down here. I don't know if you guys can see that. I left a gap there intentionally just so it has a little bit of a pivot point, you know, but once it's under power, it pushes in, because I don't run I don't run it locked, as you see there. Didn't need to. Normally I run them locked, but this thing worked like a champ, I will say that. Undetermined if a little bit of trim helped. And now we have ambulances coming our way. So anyway, all right guys, that's the next mod. And I'll show you guys this here. I took a DeWalt chalk line and made it my anchor retrieval system. It actually works really good. Yep, DeWalt powered too. Batteries in the box. All right guys, I'm gonna go over what this actually looks like. It's hard to do it when you're on the water. But these are the plates I've been working on. And this is like, I think this is the second or third version, even though it's a version 4, because I tried to make this mount actually bolt to the bracket. It's just not gonna happen. It throws too much. So this is 1/4-inch aluminum. You'll see up here where there's a couple different holes up here, but this is the one that bolts to these brackets underneath. I'll show you what it looks like underneath here, if you guys get a good idea. You'll see that this is cut out so it can be adjusted. There is a kickstand. This allows it, and this is what I mentioned on the video, this allows it to not roll back all the way because these actuators move pretty quickly. There's a bolt here and a bolt here, and this allows it to slide up and down for fine adjustments. Up here there's a bolt that runs through the bracket that's threaded, so I had to drill this and thread this to make this, you know, robust per se. And then there is a bolt here. If you look in here, there is a bolt there that runs through right where the main crossbar bolt is on the bracket that connects to the engine drive tube. And that's pretty much where it's at. You'll see the brackets right there, and this allows it to pivot back and forth. This actually allows it to move. The other one didn't move it, kind of locked it in place. And you know, my concern is, even though there's webbing in here for strength on the bracket, you know, if you hit something, you can definitely break something, or if you push the actuator too hard, because these will snap brackets. I've done it before. But yeah, that's it. Everything worked really good. These are fully adjustable. So what's going to happen eventually on the next version, I'm going to copy this one, but I'm going to round off all the edges and bring this one in a little bit. Probably take about half of that meat out of here, so it allows this to kind of spin easier. My big concern is when you put this on, you have to do it down here, which, I mean, it didn't bother me, but I definitely want to take off the extra meat. Matter of fact, I may even trim one of these. I'm not sure yet. I kind of like the idea of cutting these corners off completely, since I'm using the bracket here, because this just sits on top of the bracket webbing. So we'll see. I don't know. There might be another version. Who knows? Anyway, so there you go.